What's happening, everyone? Welcome back to Mental Groove. Today, we're jumping into another unfiltered Kevin Samuels moment that's got everybody talking. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned. I'll share my full thoughts right after the clip. Let's check it out.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
I could hear you before. How old are you?
I'm 25.
All right. So, what's up with all these backup plans?
I believe that um, women have a lot of trust issues, so they feel like they have to have a backup plan. They don't feel like they can trust a man from their previous relationship or their past. So
Is
I
this
truly
are you
believe.
in that group?
Oh, I don't believe in it, but I have did that. So I'm going off what experience that I did.
So, making a man in your present pay for the mistakes of your past equals no future.
That's true.
So, let me flip the script. So,
hmm
if a man had issues from a previous relationship, it would be okay for half the men to take that out on on their current girlfriend.
No, I don't believe in that. That's why I
Okay.
said when I did it, it was more out of despite,
Okay.
out of anger, more or less.
Uh, have you got that addressed now?
Yeah. I mean,
Uh,
I'm single, so I don't have to
okay.
worry about that.
Okay. Do you ever want to be in a relationship again, though?
Yes, I do. I
You want to
do
be
want to
married?
get married. Yeah, I
Okay.
do.
So, what have you done to address the situation?
Just a lot of communication. Um,
With who?
well, with a guy that I'm currently talking to, but you know, it's
No.
just we're
You
just
said,
friends.
okay. So, this is where it kind of starts to go off the rails.
Okay.
You said you're single,
Yeah.
but then there's a guy you're kind of talking to.
Mhm.
Modern women have so many different damn ways to define a relationship. I need to stop that. Number one.
Mhm.
But number two, you have not done any work.
I had to work on myself for the better. So I had to work on myself to understand hey, it's not my problem that this person don't want to be with me. It's time to leave. So I had to understand that when someone doesn't really want to be in
How
a
do you do the work on yourself?
um just not being in a relationship, working on myself by
Okay.
understanding what am I doing
But
wrong
how?
in
Okay,
order to.
you were in a relationship.
hmm
You needed, and you had a backup plan. You're out of the relationship. How do you do the work?
Oh, you're saying that if I would have just stayed in it and
No,
try
no,
to
I'm
work it
saying you're
out
out of the. What I'm saying is you're not. I'm trying to understand what you classify as work. You said I got to work on myself. How?
by understanding what are you doing wrong in the relationship, I had to figure
Okay.
out what was I
So you
doing
sat
wrong.
down after the relationship was over and you asked and you figured out what you did wrong.
Yeah, I had to realize what I was doing because it's like this. It's 50-50. It's not always about the.
Do you make room for the possibility that you're not qualified to fix yourself?
You're saying that I need to go to therapist, like
I,
to a therapist.
I don't understand. Okay, how do you, physician, heal thyself? How are you going to fix something while it's going on with you?
I did do that, but I feel like I didn't need
You
it after
you
I
did
heard,
you did do what?
you can go through Kaiser and do it, do a
You went
therapy.
to a therapy.
Yeah,
How
but
long
I
did you
didn't do
go?
it that only for a month. It didn't, I mean,
Thank
I
you.
understand her tip.
See, stop right
hmm
there. Thank you. I'm gonna say something to you and all women. Y'all don't you guys think y'all think too much of yourselves.
You
You
think I
mean
think too much of
I
myself
said,
by going?
well,
Oh,
listen,
okay. You're
listen.
saying women. Okay.
Yes, you're not the professional.
hmm
You have issues. We all have issues.
Of
But
course.
yet you wouldn't sit down with somebody in less than a month of talking to a trained person and say, well, I'm not doing. I can do it myself. Where else in the world can you do something like that? To where you can sit down with somebody who's trained in something and say, I can do it myself. You don't have the training, you don't have the patient history, you don't have the
Right.
experience.
hmm
Where else can you do something like that?
Nowhere else.
Right.
You
But
have
then you're
to.
going to take it to a human being. You're going to take it to a man and you end up giving him this you that you've been working on.
hmm
See, especially in our community, black people, black women in this case, you're far too proud. You don't want to sit down and have somebody tell you about yourself.
No, I understand. I have to allow someone to tell me if I'm doing something
Then
wrong.
why
I
don't you
could
go
take
to another?
prison.
Okay, why don't you go to another therapist then?
Um, I just thought that when I understand what you were saying, because I feel like I already know what I have to work on within myself.
Thank
So
you.
once I
See,
got,
listen how arrogant that sounds.
it sounds arrogant. Once
I
a
feel
person
like I
told me
already
about,
know
well,
what's wrong with me. If you
once she
would,
told me that, that's when I realized, okay, what I need to work on within myself. What
and
am
that
I
make,
saying wrong?
I'm just listening to you.
No, so what I'm trying to, okay,
No,
let
I'm
me
listening.
correct
No, I'm listening
myself.
to you say that
Mhm.
a woman said you have this. Like, oh, okay, I got it now.
No, I'm not saying that now I'm just up to here now. I'm just saying that once I understand, I have to now figure
Why didn't you
out.
stay in therapy?
Um, I just stopped going. It's not. I don't have an excuse to not keep going.
You know, but okay. So you had an issue.
Hmm.
You at least decided to go, and you did what so many women do. So many, especially so many black women do. You quit,
Yeah, I
and then
should
you wonder
never
why
did
stuff
that.
doesn't work. That'd be like going to a personal trainer and he's saying, "Okay, uh, here's a workout plan. Oh, okay, I got it from here. Bye bye."
Yeah, it sounds really stupid to do. So I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong at all.
And my point is,
To go back.
my point is, there's a man on the other end of you
Hmm.
eventually,
Right.
and if you haven't done the work, you're going to end up likely repeating the same problems
Because I didn't fully heal and
because
finish the process.
you haven't done the work.
Okay.
That's it. All
So
right,
what do you
appreciate.
recommend
I recommend you go sit down with a therapist,
and how long?
it depends on what the animating issues are. As long as there's nothing clinical,
Hmm.
but usually at least 6 months.
6 months. Okay.
At
And
least,
I'll,
because, and if you, that means if you go every other week or 3 times a month. But most people switch
hmm.
therapists, and like there are people who will either go 2 or 3 sessions and stop going.
Hmm.
You can't get through anything
Within a month.
because here's the thing: you'll get through one part of it, and then you'll start the issues that are really animating the real issues are much deeper.
Yeah.
You're just scratching the surface. It's like anything else. So appreciate it. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.
Here we go. She's single, talking to a guy, but says she needs to work on herself. Okay, that sounds responsible. But then you find out she went to therapy for just 1 month and decided she's done because apparently she's now got it. Sis, 1 month of therapy is not a personality makeover. Healing and growth are lifelong commitments, not a 30-day trial run. Kevin Samuels used to say, women will spend years getting degrees but think they can fix their mind and heart in a weekend. And it's true. This arrogance, thinking you're done after 1 month, is exactly why so many women stay stuck, cycling through situationships while claiming they're working on themselves. If you truly want to be wife material and attract a high-value man, it requires deep work, accountability, and consistency. Not jumping out of therapy the moment it gets uncomfortable. Not thinking you've mastered yourself because you had 4 sessions. Because, let's be honest, if you're still arrogant, still talking to men with no commitment, still not ready, you're not done. You're just avoiding the real work. Sis, stop fooling yourself. The real flex isn't leaving therapy early. It's staying in the process until your actions align with your words. Because men can see when a woman isn't healed. They can see when you're still carrying that pride and trauma. And that's why you're single, talking to a guy, but still nowhere closer to marriage. You say you're working on yourself? Then do it. For real this time.